Understood. Here's the translation without the original Chinese. Truly able to grow old together couples. Most have achieved these 4 points. Dr. Hailan from Fudan University once said, among the 7 billion people in the world, regardless of the reason, it is an amazing thing that you and this person met. On the journey of life, being able to form a lifetime bond with someone is an immense fortune. Everyone longs to hold one person's heart, to grow old together without parting. But the road ahead is long. The winds and waves never cease. On the road to happiness, it's inevitable to face storms. All of this requires both spouses to cultivate and practice together in the small details of life. Those who can truly walk through life hand in hand not only met and understood each other at the peak of youth, but also resisted the storms together in the long river of time, endured hardships, and finally ushered in that peace and happiness. The secret to this, perhaps, can be summarized in 4 levels. Couples who can truly grow old together have mostly achieved these 4 points. Don't doubt it. When first entering marriage, even if occasional anger arises, they learn to be tolerant and understanding. The book, The Meaning of Marriage, says that even if we found the right person at the beginning, it won't be long before the other person changes, because marriage, this major event in life, means that once we enter it together, we are no longer the same person we were before. Many times, it's not that people have changed, but the trivialities of life have shattered the filter, revealing our truest selves. When you suddenly realize that your partner is no longer perfect, and the marriage is full of cracks, disappointment naturally arises. Even the sweetness of love from the past can be blocked out by anger and confusion. Sharp and harsh criticism of your partner naturally causes a relationship to fall into a deadlock. The writer Duanmu Wanqing shared the marriage story of a reader named Ailey. Ailey and her husband had only been married for 2 years before they began to find each other unbearable. Ailey felt that the carefree man she married had become lazy and sloppy. Ashes from his cigarettes scattered everywhere. Dirty socks were strewn around the house. And every day, all he did was play on his phone or computer, never considering helping her with household chores. Her husband, on the other hand, felt that Ailey had changed too. She was no longer understanding, always forcing him, who was introverted, to switch careers to sales. After work, she wouldn't let him rest, and even forced him to go to the gym. Whenever they met, it was endless arguments. Eventually, they would simply stop talking out of spite, starting with a few hours of ignoring each other, and escalating to not speaking for half a month. Ailey cried out of grievance, saying that when they got married, it was with the hope of growing old together. But why, as they walked down the path, did the marriage lose its essence? Duanmu Wanqing replied, the reason Ailey's marriage encountered problems was because she was still using the standards of dating to measure marriage, expecting her partner to be perfect, and fantasizing that the road of marriage would be smooth. But reality proves that a marriage cannot be sustained by momentary heartbeats and beautiful fantasies alone. To maintain a lasting relationship, you must give up fantasies, accept the real person in front of you, face their flaws directly, and still retain your love for them. As Hu Yiming once said, to maintain a relationship, the fewer expectations, the better. If you have no expectations, you can love unconditionally. When first entering marriage, we gradually see each other's entirety. 2 people with different living habits will inevitably have some clashes, but it's only at this point that we truly enter each other's lives and have the opportunity to discover other shining points in them. With a tolerant heart, lower your expectations of the other person and slowly polish the foundation of the early stage of marriage. so that the life after marriage can be both stable and sweet. Middle-aged couples do not abandon each other, steadfastly guarding the vows of marriage. When people reach middle age, marriage has passed through the initial sweetness, and in the calm daily life, it becomes bland. However, life is a war without smoke. Parents, children, family, work. The burdens are as heavy as Mount Tai, piled on your shoulders, difficult to move. The storms of fate also strike mercilessly without warning. This time, thanks to the silent companionship of that person beside you, you can withstand the erosion of life's hardships. Hong Kong TVB's golden supporting actor Liao Qiji was best known for playing small roles crushed by fate, but his real life was even more arduous and full of twists. In 2003, his youngest son Nono was diagnosed with leukemia. His wife, Chen Minner, was greatly affected by this, and her depression relapsed. Liao Qiji had no time to grieve and began to shuttle between home and hospital. During the day, he would first send his eldest and second sons to school, then go to the hospital to feed, bathe, and accompany his youngest son. At night, he couldn't rest, as he had to rush to the TV station to host programs, to earn money and support the family. Chen Minner, distressed by Liao Qiji's hardships, couldn't bear to let her husband bear the burden alone. Even though her mental state was not good, she chose to occasionally go to the hospital, accompanying her youngest son in the fight against the disease. More than a year of chemotherapy, the onset of complications, the tube for injecting medication breaking inside the body, all the sufferings her youngest son endured. As a mother, she bore them all in her heart. In fact, these stimuli were detrimental to Chen Minner's depression. But no matter how bitter or difficult it was, she did not retreat, always bravely facing the challenges fate threw at them alongside her husband. Because they were a team, there's a saying that every couple shares a life and death bond. No matter how time turns the clouds and rain, as long as you do not abandon each other and stay by each other's side, no matter how dark the night, there will always be a moment of dawn. No matter how big the difficulty, there will be a day when you overcome it. Gorky said, "Marriage is the spiritual union of two people. Its purpose is to conquer all the hardships and difficulties of life. The value of marriage is not just in sharing the prosperity of the world, but in traversing the dark places of life together, living as a couple who support and cherish each other like Wen Jingji and his wife. Your life is witnessed by me, and my back is supported by you. In the rushing flood of time, we resist the wind, snow, and frost together, share the burdens of life, slowly grow old, slowly turn gray. After middle age, the heart feels blessed, appreciating each other's strengths and wisdom. Having endured the trials of the mundane middle age, the love between a couple seems to be diluted by time. Some people become numb, allowing their feelings to slide into coldness. But some people keep recalling the hardships they've walked through together and can't help but feel trust and affection for the person beside them. The feelings become stronger. In 1956, on the 66th birthday of the Master of Chinese Studies, Chen Inca, he, usually reserved, couldn't hide his excitement and couldn't stop praising his wife Tang Yunyun, saying that without her support, he could not have achieved what he did. Year after year, as his hair turned white and wrinkles appeared, he loved and depended on his wife more than ever, the one who had shared all the ups and downs with him. At the age of 54, when Chen Inca was at the peak of his academic research, he suffered from an eye disease, making it impossible for him to see again. For a scholar who needed to read and study every day, this was like a bolt from the blue. But Chen Inca didn't stay down for long, because he had another pair of bright eyes. When he wanted to know the affairs of the world, His wife read books and newspapers for him. When he wanted to find some information, his wife helped him search through the vast literature. When he wanted to write poems or lecture notes, his wife stayed by his side, always ready to record and organize for him. Although Chininka couldn't see, he engraved his wife's contributions deeply in his heart. He attributed his academic achievements to his wife and insisted that every book cover must bear her inscription. Chininka also regarded his wife as the cornerstone of the family and repeatedly reminded their daughters that without their mother, there would be no today. Even when the entire world marveled at Chininka's talent and achievements, in his heart, his wife was the greatest heroine. American psychologist Willard Harley believes, the happiest couples are those who feel their partner is their greatest treasure. Marriage should be like this. When you look at the person beside you, your heart feels blessed. Marriage in old age is not tired of growing old together, but cherishing each other until the end. Being able to live a life with one person, with them in sight and in the heart, is indeed the greatest luck. The modern novelist by Schumann said, every married couple who has grown old together, their life was not all smooth sailing. They must have climbed mountains, crossed canyons, and descended into low valleys. The world may not know what they've been through, but they always remember that it was the person beside them who always held their hand in the darkness, guided them out of the haze, and accompanied them through the unknown. They understand and admire each other and feel like a very fortunate person. This is the final love, strong, deep, and touching. The Buddhist saying goes, when love reaches its deepest point, what remains is responsibility and gratitude. If you can meet such a person in your life, hold on tight and love deeply. May you and the one you love be filled with deep love and grow old together. Every time I open the story of Qin Shueson and Jiang Ying's marriage, I am deeply moved. One was the father of China's science and technology, a double doctorate, a top scholar, with his mind solely on academics. The other was a vocal artist who studied in Germany, a quintessential literary young woman, full of romantic sentiment. At first glance, they seemed mismatched, but this couple knew how to fall in love with each other's strengths and live their lives with mutual understanding and tolerance. Qin Shueson had the habit of staying in his study alone until the early hours after dinner. Jiang Ying was not angry. She respected his work habits. And Qin Shueson, he never demanded that the privileged Jiang Ying must be a perfect housewife, cooking meals daily. While living abroad, Jiang Ying learned to use her piano-playing hands to cook meals and handle household chores. Seeing this, Qin Shueson couldn't bear it, so he bought a bamboo flute and would occasionally play a duet with his wife, awakening her true joy. After returning to China, Jiang Ying began working at the Central Experimental Opera House. Whenever she performed on stage, Qin Shueson would attend with his colleagues, giving her the highest level of support. If Qin Shueson was too busy with work, Jiang Ying would painstakingly record the performance, playing it back for him to listen, easing the tension from his work. As time passed, their youth faded, and in their twilight years, they finally had the opportunity to set aside their work and quietly accompany each other. They would walk together in the morning light, one behind the other, or attend concerts and art exhibitions together. Jiang Ying happily said, our leisure life has always been filled with an artistic atmosphere. Qin Shueson gratefully expressed, when I encounter difficulties in my work and cannot find a solution, it is often Jiang Ying's singing that enlightens me, giving me inspiration. How fortunate I am. Two people in different spiritual realms relied on tolerance and understanding, affection and loyalty, gratitude and appreciation, to warm each other in the mundane world. Traveling together through life's twists and turns, growing closer as they went. Someone once said that growing old together sounds touching, but in reality, it requires enduring long trials and patience, devoid of romance and dreams, full of trivialities and mundaneness. Indeed, it is only in old age that one truly understands the meaning of growing old together. Having traveled through thousands of miles and weathered countless hardships, you and I have kept our original intentions, accompanying each other faithfully through the years, grateful for each other's presence, which is the greatest blessing in this life. As time goes on, many couples let their feelings slip away in the daily routine, becoming strangers before even reaching halfway. They lament the brevity of love and mourn the unpredictability of marriage, complaining that their partner is not considerate. But they never consider that Rome wasn't built in a day. Every good marriage has gone through these 4 stages: the bliss of the honeymoon, the unwavering loyalty during trials, the blessings after the waves, and the peace of stability. Every marriage that lasts until old age has endured countless days and nights of forging and tempering, giving rise to understanding and compassion, ultimately releasing a dazzling light. Such a marriage can withstand the desolation of the world and the passage of time, earning admiration and moving hearts. I hope today's content has touched you in some way. For those who haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click subscribe so that we can accompany you every day. Let's grow together, be happy together, and slowly grow old together. We'll see you next time. Don't miss it.